Hello, family. This is Spiritual Dr. Afi. Last week, during Tarot Tuesday, a powerful message, I believe, a powerful download came through. And I was debating whether or not to share it here on my YouTube channel. And I've decided to share the beginning portion of last week's Tarot Tuesday because I feel it's a message that needs to reach much more people. So for what it's worth, if the message is for you, listen up, take notes, and I hope it brings about the change, the self-acceptance, the self-love, and the growth that you deserve. Listen up. Blessings to each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. Many blessings to you. Full moon in Scorpio during this Taurus season. It's an interesting combination. And it's an interesting combination because, Taurus vibration, Taurus energy. This is Taurus season. The sun is in Taurus. This Taurus sun energy likes things to be smooth, for lack of better words, non-problematic. It likes it to be complication-free. It likes it more on the simplicity zone, right? Whereas this full moon in Scorpio is pushing us to go below the surface. But more than just going below the surface, it's pushing us to really look much deeper than just below the surface. Because below the surface can be 2 inches, but it not, Spirit during this full moon in Scorpio wants us to go sea level deep, all the way to the bottom of the ocean, sea level deep, in order for us to be able to bring out, in order for us to be able to confront what's been hiding, what we've been ignoring, denying, rejecting for days, weeks, months, and even years. Okay? So my question tonight to you is, what's below the surface? What's below the surface to the uncomfortable feeling that you got going on in your life right now? What's below the surface to these emotions that are making you feel uneasy, that are making you, feel anxious, that are making you feel uncomfortable? Because you're supposed to feel uncomfortable. If there are things that you've been ignoring, denying, not attending to, not giving it the attention it requires, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. And that's the whole idea. Okay? So this is a particular time period right now in this full moon in Scorpio where you won't be able to continue to ignore the obvious. Okay? This particular full moon in Scorpio, is asking us, hear me out, is asking us to pay attention to our body, to pay attention to the body. Why the body? Well, the body holds the secrets. The body holds the code. The body holds onto the memory. The body holds on to the trauma. The body holds on to the experiences. The body holds on to all of the codes we need to be able to set ourselves free. Okay? So it's not going to be easy for you during this particular time period, under this full moon in Scorpio, to sweep things under the rug. It's not going to be easy for you to just continue to turn your face so that you don't have to look at that situation that's been bugging you. Okay? It's not going to be easy for you to just ride along. It's not going to be easy for you to just, go for the ride and hopes that the bumps will just, go away in a couple of minutes. It's not going to be easy for you to be able to do that. Things are looking at you right at your face. Things are right in your face. Wherever you turn, the discomfort is there. Wherever you turn, the uneasiness is there. Wherever you turn, this unpleasant energy that you got going on in your life right now is looking straight at you, and it's saying, do you not see us here? You can't continue to ignore us. If you want to grow, if you want to prosper, if you want to get better, if you want to heal, if you want to become your highest and best version, you're going to have to address those things that are way beneath the surface, that are at sea level. This time period requires that. And hear me out when I say this. So many of us have been indirectly trained and also directly trained to ignore the body. It should never be like that. Some of us grew in environments. Some of us grew up in homes. Some of us grew up in cultures that taught us how to ignore our body. Don't say that. You're wrong. Hey, you gotta obey and respect the elders. So you had to shut up. You had to be quiet. You were silenced. Okay? So we've been taught in our culture, in our environment, in our homes, to be quiet. When we tell a child, shut up, and that's very normal, especially if you're Caribbean, if you're Hispanic, if you are, black, children get told, shut up. You're not supposed to speak, okay? You listen, you obey, you pay attention, but you shut up. And what we have, unfortunately, taught, what that culture, what that era taught our children, taught us, it taught us to desensitize. It taught us to disconnect from God. Whew, hear me out. Please hear me out. It taught us to disconnect from God. It taught us to disconnect from God. How did it do that? Well, because Spirit, Divine, God, Source, whichever God you subscribe to, lives in our body. Please hear me out. I feel the chills coming over my body right now. God, Spirit, the Most High, the God of your understanding, Source, lives in our body. When we came into this world, we came into this world with a God that was connected to our body. Our upbringing, our conditioning, our culture, slowly but surely taught us to desensitize, disconnect from the God in our body. And because we disconnected from the God in our body, listen to what I'm telling you. Regardless if you're Catholic, regardless if you're Christian, regardless if you're Jehovah's Witness, I don't care what the hell you are. Regardless if you're an Olocha, a Santero, a Palero, an Espiritista, a New Age practitioner, regardless of what you identify with, I believe it is safe to say that we were born with the connection to God in our body. Okay? Again, regardless of what your spiritual and religious walk of life is. Christian, Catholic, atheist. If you're atheist, well, you don't subscribe to any particular God, but then yet you know that there's something greater, higher, bigger that's responsible for our human existence. So, I digress. We were all born with a connection to a divine source, whoever it is for you, God, Spirit, Allah, Brahma, Buddha, Olodumare, Olofin, Nzambi, whatever you call it, Jesus. We were born with a connection to a a creator. And that creator lives in our body. That's why the biggest and most sacred church, the biggest and most sacred connection to God is in our body. It's us. It's within us. But what happens is that in the vast majority of cultures, in our upbringing, in our homes, again, especially if you're Hispanic, Latin, especially if you're Black, if you're Caribbean, I definitely, as a Black Cuban man, knows that this is true for me, as I know it is true for many of you. We were always taught as children to be quiet. Cállate la boca. Don't speak. Shut up. You can't say that. We weren't allowed to express what we truly felt. Okay. Hi there. We were taught to be quiet. We were taught to silence what we felt. That was the beginning. I need you to really focus on this for a couple of seconds. That was the beginning. It wasn't intentional for the most part, right? It's just the behavior, the culture, right? It's the culture of our upbringing, especially if you're Hispanic and Latino and Black and Caribbean. That's just like, cállate la boca. Shut up. Am I the only one that as a child was told to shut up? Because I can't be the only person on here who as a child, for whatever reason, we were told to shut up. Well, if you allow this, if you contemplate, if you think about this for a minute, this is the beginning of us being trained to disconnect from whoever it is we call God. Again, this is regardless of whatever religion, tradition, spirituality, walk of life, path, dogma you subscribe to. This is the beginning of desensitizing, of disconnecting from God. Why? Because God speaks to us in our body. What the hell is he trying to say? What's the connection here? Because we're still not getting it. Well, the connection is we have these things called gut feelings, right? We have a gut feeling. We have a sensation. We feel things when we go to places. We feel things when we meet people. We feel things when we are in certain spaces with certain people, in certain environments. We feel things when we are in our jobs. We feel things when we are around certain family members. We feel things when we are with our partner. We feel things where? We feel it in our body. We don't feel it in the brain. See, this is where people get it screwed up. Okay? We don't feel it in the brain. The brain doesn't feel. The brain processes what the body feels. So the first impact, the first center of information is registered in our body, in our physical body. But we've been trained to disconnect from our body. So we've been trained to disconnect from the voice of God in our body. So we've been trained to not listen to our gut feeling. We've been trained to not listen to our intuition. That's why there's so many hundreds of thousands of people around this world. I don't know what I want to do. I want to do this, what I want to do, but I'm not sure. It's so hard for me to make a decision. If you are the kind of person that says, it's so hard for me to make a decision. If you're one of those individuals that find it difficult to make decisions in life, you most definitely are a person that for whatever reason, at some point of your life, you were taught to disconnect from your body. And you've been disconnected from your body for so long that it's so difficult for you to have this sense of autonomy, this sense of fullness, of self-understanding, of self-awareness. The spirit of knowingness, not the knowingness in your body, has been shut down. Society did this to you. Culture did this to you. Your parents did this to you. Your environment did this to you. The school system did this to you. Your teachers did this to you. Now, hear me out. All extremes are bad, in my opinion. Right? This is a very common belief. All extremes are bad. We should not accept disrespect. We should not accept what we consider to be disrespect. But this is my thing. I believe I have come to the understanding over the years that specifically and especially children, from the moment they're born all the way until they're 10, 11, all the way until they're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, we should give them the freedom to express themselves however they want. Because obviously, if they start to express themselves or say things that could be interpreted as disrespect, we would, in a healthy way, potentially, hopefully, ideally, we would teach them how to still express themselves freely in a better way. But we should not go in and say, shut up, you're not supposed to say that. Shut up, be quiet, cállate la boca. Or the very famous Cuban, parental Cuban saying, los niños hablan cuando las gallinas mean. Oh my God, that shit used to piss me off, which makes no sense in English, but it says something like, shut up, kids talk when chickens pee. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, what the hell? So we've been taught to not express ourselves, and we have not been able to connect to our body. And because we've been so disconnected from our body, we've been disconnected from God. So Spirit says the secrets, the code to what you need to do to be able to free yourself, to open up, is in your body. The secret is in your body. The secret is in your body. So we do a lot of shadow work. We do healings. We do spirituality. We do energy work. We do inner child healing work. We do rituals. We do ceremonies. If you're in any Afro-Cuban traditions, you get initiated. You get scratch and palo. You have seances, misas. You get cleanses. We do so many different things. You do meditations. And we're trying to heal the hurt, heal the pain. Okay? Heal the hurt, heal from the pain, heal from the trauma. But in reality, we're supposed to, in my opinion, in my experience, in my teachings, in my understanding, we're supposed to be able to reconnect with our body. Healing the trauma is very important. Healing from the trauma is vital, is important. But I believe that it's so difficult for so many of us to heal from the trauma when we have not listened to my words, when we have not been taught how to connect to our body, how to come back into our body. You would think that if you heal from the trauma, and you go to therapy and you go to counseling, right? Or you do meditation, and you do healings, and you do the rituals, and you do the ceremonies, and you do the cleanse, and you do all these things, and you sleep with crystals, and you do new moon work and full moon work and all these things, you would think that addressing, not healing, but addressing the trauma should be good enough. It is my spiritual, personal opinion. I've come to the conclusion over the years from other studies that I have done that it's not enough. The ritual is not enough. The ceremony is not enough. The spiritual bath, the weekly spiritual baths are not enough. The lighting the candles is not enough. The going to church to pray is not enough. The going to the synagogue is not enough. The knocking on doors every Sunday is not enough. It's not enough. Why? Because we have not been taught how to connect to our body. We have not been rebooted back to the original aspect of our body, connecting back in. Why? Because if we reconnect back to our body in a healthy way, in a consistent way, we then start to rebuild a new relationship with our physical body, our spiritual body. And being able to rebuild a relationship with our body allows us to listen to the voice of God again. Allows us to listen to the voice of God again. God, Spirit, Most High, Source, Creator, Universe, Mother Earth, Olodumare, Olofin, Olorun, Ensambi, Bhagavad Gita, Buddha. We allow ourselves to listen to the voice of Creator, of Source, again, in our body. A lot of the confusions that we got going on is because we're not listening. We have not been taught to listen to the voice in our body. That's why we seek out. Come on now. We seek out. We seek out what we should be seeking within. But we don't know how to seek within because there's been an automatic shutdown. The communications has been shut down. Should I not go into this relationship? Should I not do this business plan? Should I not, trust this business partner? Should I not go for this job? Should I not have this baby? Should I not get married? Should I not? Too many should and should I not? When the answer is within us. Do you all hear me what I'm trying to say? Are you all receiving what I'm trying to lay in your heart? Are you all receiving this? It's very important because the one thing I've never ever, and those of you that have been following me for a long time, I want to believe that you all know this. I have never wanted to create a space here on these social media streets. I have never wanted to create a space here where it is just very dogmatic, just black and white. This is the only way. Everybody else is wrong and we are right. This is not that space. That's why this is a particular space that one of my major efforts that I've been trying for ever since I've allowed myself to be on social media is I want to create a space that's open to all peoples, all walks of life, all understandings. First and foremost, for the support and the guidance of my people, right? Because, hey, we have to support our own, right? I support my people. I support my people. But I support all humans. I support all humans, all walks of life, anybody. So yes, those of you that know me, yes, I am Afro-Cuban. I was born in Cuba. I am an Afro-Cuban man, raised in this country of the United States. And I subscribe to the spiritualities, to the walks of life that are familiar to my culture because I was born into it. I've developed a healthy relationship with the spiritual practices and traditions that were the languages of my ancestors, the ancestors of Africa. And all that has been beautiful. And I would never change any of it at all. At all. But over the years, I allowed myself the freedom to understand that God, whoever we call God, whoever you call God, whatever God you subscribe to, whoever your source is, speaks through every practice, through every walk of life, through every tradition. And first and foremost, it speaks to us in our body. Because our body, our spiritual body and physical body is our real church, okay? Is our first safe haven, is our first place of connection to divine source. That's why today, as I said earlier at the beginning of this live, and I usually say this a lot, right? We're not just going to sit here and pull a card, hey, this is the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands says this and this and this and that, and yada, 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 and you should do this and this. No. We need to elevate our understanding. We need to elevate our consciousness. We need to open up, this third eye vibration. We need to connect to our pineal gland. We need to be able to really bring forth the best and highest version of ourselves, but by way of true understanding. That's why spirit energy, vibration, source brings this message today to us. And yes, we're going to pull cards on what have you and all this and all that, but let me tell you, during tonight's full moon in Scorpio, during this Taurus season, Divine Source Spirit is asking us, all of us, to go much deeper than we have allowed ourselves to. We have a responsibility to ourselves to go much deeper than we have allowed ourselves to, because we have to stop being afraid. We have to stop being intimidated. We have to stop being avoidant. We have to stop procrastinating. We have to stop thinking and believing that someone else is going to come in and do the job that we're supposed to do for ourselves. Scorpio asks us to go into sea level deep. We got to go sea level deep within us. That's why Spirit shares with us this evening, or asks us, or it tells us the secret codes are in our body. We've been disconnected from the secret codes in our body because of the influence of culture, the influence of our upbringing, the influence of our environment from the moment we were born. If you were a child, like I was, that was at some point told by a parent, by an elder, by a community, by a school teacher to shut up, that was the beginning of us shutting down the voice of God in our body. That was the beginning of us not being able to listen to the voice of Creator, of universe in our body. And as we grew up, we've been told in many different ways by many different people that we are wrong, to be quiet, to shut up. So little by little, it has weakened our spiritual immune system. It has weakened our connection to Source and Creator. It's so interesting that we as parents don't understand. Our parents, especially from older generations, again, this was not done on purpose, but it was done, failed to understand. They failed to understand how each and every time they shut us up, we got further and further and further away, distant from our ability to sense, receive, feel, hear, and understand cues around us. How so? Can I give you an example? Do tell, can I give you an example? Can I share with you? Before I say what I want to say, Spirit tells us, let's try to do our best. Let's stop overriding our body. That's what Spirit's communicating for us tonight. Let's do our best, moving on forward. Moving on forward. Let's do our best to stop overriding our body, overriding the message in the body, because God has been trying to communicate with us all this time. God has been trying to communicate with you since you were 16, since you were 14, since you were 12 years old, since you were 9 years old, since you were 9, 10, 11, 7, 21, 22, 23, however old you were when you experienced trauma. God has been trying to talk to you all these years. God has been trying to talk to you all these years. Spirit, Divine Source has been trying to communicate with you all these years. I don't know who this message is for. I never know who these messages are for. But God knows who you are. Spirit knows who you are. So for whomever this message is for, in those days and moments and months and years that you thought that you were under the impression that God forgot about you, that you were under the impression that you were abandoned by God, that you were under the impression the Spirit and the ancestors do not have your back. Spirit tells you and reminds you tonight, they've been trying to talk to you and reach you all this time. It's just that you've been disconnected from the body. And because we are in this human form, we are in this physical body, right? Having this human experience, as I was telling one of my clients the other day, we've connected so much, so deeply with our physical body that we totally forgot we are spirit. We are spiritual beings having a human existence. But we've nurtured so much, catered so much, paid attention so much to the physical body, to the human experience, that we have forgotten that we are spiritual beings. That's why when I hear people say things like, I want to be more spiritual, I want to be more spiritual, I want to practice more spirituality. We just practice. Let me tell you something. Lord, I don't want to go in too many different directions, but you know how spirit works through me. You all know, those of you that have been with me for a while, you all know how spirit works through me. We've been having a spiritual experience from the moment we were born. We're having a spiritual experience each and every single day of our human existence. We are having a spiritual experience every day of our human life. The only difference is, hear me out. The only difference is we are either vibrating high, we are vibrating on this earth from a higher polarity, spiritually, or we are vibrating low. And it makes our spirituality, when we are vibrating low, when our environment has been intoxicated by trauma, abandonment, neglect, abuse, and the list goes on and 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 on. And we have not been able to come out from that space. That is violence to our spiritual being. It's violence. And it's a violation of our spiritual beingness. We've become disconnected from our spiritual body. That's why we forget that we are all doing the spirituality thing, even if we don't notice it, because we are a spiritual being. This is just an armor that we're wearing as we navigate through this human experience. But we're spiritual every single day. The question is, what kind of spiritual are you? Are you a high vibrational spiritual being? Are you a low vibrational spiritual being? Are you a very overrated word used these days? Are you a toxic spiritual being? That's what makes the difference. That is what makes the difference. Let me go back. I have not forgotten to the example I was going to give you, where Spirit says we have to stop overriding our body. Well, Spirit says we have to stop overriding our body. Because when you override your body, you continue to miss the message in the body. You continue to miss out on the message in the body where God is speaking to you. For example, I'm happy that in this day and age, more conscious people, more awoke people are teaching their children much more about their body, right? Whether it's through meditation and listening to the body. I like that. I actually do like that part, because we are supposed to be connected much more with our body, right? So I do appreciate and like that parents these days are trying to teach their children more about listening to their body. Because, hear me out, we're supposed to teach our children to listen to their body and learn about their body. Because if we force the little ones by telling them to shut up and be quiet, by forcing them to love all the adults, I have a problem with that too. Who can raise their hand if you were one of the many who, when you were a child, you were supposed to, you took the words right out of my mouth, Chris. Be nice to the elders. Be nice. See, there's a difference between being nice and being respectful. Be nice. You had to be nice. You had to obey, right? Many of us were forced to, hug the adult. Oh, give a hug to I don't know, to Auntie April, okay? Give a hug and a kiss to, Uncle Mike. Your child don't want to give a kiss and a hug to Uncle Mike, okay? Because your child, the 4-year-old, the 6-year-old, the 7-year-old may not know who Uncle Mike is. But the spirit in the body, the spirit in the 7-year-old's body, the spirit in the 4-year-old's body is rejecting Uncle Mike because it knows that Uncle Mike knows that Uncle Mike is a child molester. It knows that Uncle Mike is a pedophile. The spirit in the child's body knows that Uncle Mike is not someone that should be trusted. But you force your child to give Uncle Mike the hug. Be nice. Give Uncle Mike the hug. Give him a kiss. Stop being mean. Respect. That was also the beginning of teaching the child to desensitize the voice in the body. Does anyone follow me? And we have to stop teaching our children to override the voice of God in their body. Because it lasts forever. Okay? So, all that being said, for those of you that have been here since the beginning, all of that being said, what is your body telling you that you are ignoring? What is your body telling you that you don't want to believe? What is your body telling you that you just want to second guess yourself about? What is your body telling you which you're not listening? What is your body telling you about this new place you want to move to? What is this body telling you about this new job? What is this body telling you about these new people you just met? What is your body telling you about your friend that you've been friends with for the past 20 years? What is your body telling you? Okay? Because if you listen to your body, you would know whether or not that place is good for you. You would know whether or not that person is good for you. You would know whether or not that environment is good for you. You would know whether or not you should go to that appointment. You would know whether or not to take that one doctor's opinion as a death sentence. And not allow yourself to get a second opinion, a third opinion, and a fourth opinion, because your body is telling you to go get a second, a third, and a fourth opinion. Because that doctor you go to might be a world-renowned doctor, recognize all the degrees, all the certificates, and all the acknowledgments and all the awards, but the spirit in your body, connected to the God of your understanding, is telling you, this doctor's not the one for you. You better go get a second opinion. You better go get that other MRI somewhere else. You better have another doctor read those films, read those x-rays. Does anyone hear me? Are you listening to the voice in your body? Are you listening to the voice in your body? Okay? And another thing I want to share with you before we jump into Tarot Tuesday. This full moon in Scorpio, as I said at the beginning, is telling us, asking us, requiring that we dig deep, that we go sea level deep, that we go sea level deep, because we're going to be prompted to face uncomfortable truths. Uncomfortable truths. They need to be faced. Okay? Uncomfortable truths. And Spirit says, uncomfortable truths will elevate me. But you've been an avoidant. You've been second guessing yourself. You've been prolonging things that should not be prolonged. And therefore, the fear of loss, the fear of change. Some of you are afraid of change. Some of you are so afraid of change. You need to ask your body, why am I afraid of change? Well, if you listen to the real voice in your body, the real voice in your body, the one in which God speaks into, perhaps it would tell you that you are afraid of change because each and every time you have allowed change, each and every time you've changed something in your life, chaos has ensued. Chaos has erupted. Trauma has come in. Loss has been experienced. So you have a hard time with change because change has not been favorable for you. But let me tell you something. Even if that were to be the case, your mistake, unintentionally, but your mistake has been thinking that that change, that unfavorable change, is permanent. You have made a mistake in thinking, believing that the unfavorable changes you have experienced in your life, you have allowed yourself to believe that they are permanent. Unfavorable, unpleasant changes are not permanent unless we make it permanent. Unfavorable changes are not lifelong. Unfavorable changes are not a death sentence unless you make it a death sentence. What is he talking about now? Well, Spirit is saying, you make an unfavorable change permanent. You make an unfavorable change a death sentence when you succumb to that change. Do you hear me? You dated this person, he or she cheated on you, that broke your spirit, and you made a decision to never trust anyone again. You made that unfavorable change a death sentence for you. You decided that you would never, ever open up to anybody ever again. You decided that you would never, ever trust anyone again. When you elevated, listen to, this is shadow work. This is shadow work, baby. When you went through that traumatic experience that shattered your spirit, and you made the decision to never trust anyone again, when you promoted, when you elevated that trauma into the belief into the understanding, into the concept of not trusting anyone ever again, you open up the channel to invite people that you couldn't trust to come into your life. Because you said, I will never, ever trust anyone again. What happens then? You continue to encounter people that you can't trust. Because you said it. Words have power, baby. Words have power. And because words have power, you gave it the power to re-experience it over and over and over and over and over again, because you want to, not consciously speaking, you wanted to prove your theory right. I can't trust people. Well, since you believe that you can't trust people, the universe is going to give you exactly what you believe. And it will prove your theory right. You will then encounter many other people in professional realms, in personal environments that you can't trust. The truths that can't be avoided have to be faced during this time period. Okay? So that we then, and this is the last thing I want to say as I start to shuffle here for our oracle card, so that we stop, Lord, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, Spirit, Lord, 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 Lord. Can I share with you what just came through for me? Can I share with you what just came through for me? Miss Reg says yes. Naomi says yes. The reason why so many aspects of our life is just chaotic, troubled, and it seems like we can never catch up, or we're just on the in this hamster's wheel, right? Or some of you just feel completely exhausted to no avail. Well, guess what? Spirit says if you take into consideration and put into practice what Spirit shared with us tonight, doing healing work and doing work to come back into our body so that we can reestablish, I like that information, reestablish the communication lines between our body and God. Reestablish the communications between our body and God. Then we are able to, this is the bullet point that I want to share with you as we pick our first oracle card. Many of us have been living completely under the weather all the time, no matter what we do, no matter how many classes we take, no matter how many spiritual baths we take, no matter how many churches we go to, no matter how many ceremonies we participate in, no matter how many rituals we do, we fall into this never-ending cycle because we are living daily through this is the phrase, the words that came to me, we're living life we're having a stressed out existence. We're having a stressed out existence. Our mere existence on this earth. That is so deep the more I say it. Our mere existence on this earth is stressed out. So it's not about you being stressed out. It's not about your heart being stressed out. It's not about your finances being stressed out. It's not about the chaos in your life stressing you out. It's not about your brain being stressed out. It's not about your body being. It's about your existence. You're having a stressed out existence. And if we continue to have a stressed out existence on this earth, we could never, ever elevate. So the goal here is to elevate, so that we can come out of this stressed out existence cycle. And we do that through what? We do that through elevating our education of self, okay? Learning about our body at a deeper level. Opening up the channels of communication between body and God, so that God can speak back into us again and we are able to listen. God continues to speak into us, but we're not able to listen because communications has been cut. We need to reestablish the communication between our body and God. Do you listen? And in my particular case, through my teachings, we do that through a lot of healing work, ancestral healing work, because this was the experience of your ancestors. If you're going through it in your lifetime, someone went through it before you. Your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandfather, your auntie, your whoever experienced it before you. And through ancestral healing, we get to break free. We get to break free from these things that are happening to us. And no matter what we do, we can't seem to understand why. Well, this full moon in Scorpio is asking us to go deep. What is the truth of what you're feeling about? What is the truth? What is the truth of what you're feeling about? Full moon in Scorpio is asking you. What is the truth of what you are feeling? What is the truth about your relationship with your partner? What is the truth about your relationship with that job? What is the truth about your relationship with some of your family members? What is the truth that you can't continue to ignore, hide, avoid? What is the truth? What is the truth? What is the truth? Do you hear me? Okay. So let's see here. Let's see which is our which is our oracle card here for the night. The Knight. The Knight is our oracle card for tonight. The Knight. Let's see what the author of this oracle card deck says about the Knight. I don't think we've had the Knight here before, but let's see. The Knight. And it says, the Knight transports deep, dark, dreamy scents with him. He moves slowly and effortlessly. This is already sounding a little Scorpio-ish to me. I don't know about you. The Knight transports deep, dark, dreamy scents with him. He moves slowly and effortlessly through the streets. His incense spills from the censer, coloring the air with its perfume. The smoke hangs thick in the air, blanketing the world in darkness. Shit, this is Scorpio shit. The Knight wears the stars at his waist. Each speck twinkles with his movement, blinking in and out with each step. He wears a head wrap filled with the colors of the sky. The cover appears white at the top and then darkens into the daytime glow cast by the sun. He walks everywhere, bringing dreams and nightmares to everyone as the day falls away to meet the shadows. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. This is probably upside down for you all, but I can't make this shit up. Okay? Meanings. Don't be afraid of the dark. Greet the shadows and set yourself free. Hello? Anyone there? Anyone there? I tell you, I don't know. Spirit never fails us during Tarot Tuesday. If I may say so myself. I don't know if you agree, but I believe so. Spirit never fails us during Tarot Tuesday. That was so revealing to me. Listen, this is the deck. This deck is Matt Hughes Dreamscape Oracle deck. The Knight. The Knight. I can't make this up. Okay? This is in tune, in vibration, in alignment with the full moon in Scorpio. We can't make this shit up. Okay? We can't make this up. Wow. 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 Anyway.